And finally, the question of the week. What is my favorite BYU moment? So I've got a lot. Okay. Biggest moments are like BYU winning last second, John Beck to Johnny Harleen. Other ones include the 4th down and 18 from Max Hall to Austin Collie. The throw, I think, to George, which in between two Utah players. The win against Oklahoma. The win against Nebraska on a Hail Mary that basically made Tanner Mangum a legend in BYU. Also, the win against Wisconsin. There's just a ton of games where, and even the win against USC, that was sweet. Last year, that game was so good. It was such a good game. And I felt like the whole time BYU could win the game, but I didn't think it was going to happen. My favorite BYU moment, it was because I was at the game. I was at Lavelle Edwards Stadium for Boise State BYU 2015. So my cousin moved into our house, and he liked to go to sporting events with me. I think I went to like 10 Jazz games that year at the end of the season. It was pretty cool. It was back before the Jazz were good. Kind of like they were kind of on that upswing of getting good, where they won most of their games. There was a couple games they didn't win, but yeah, it was pretty fun. But one of the games that I got to go to was BYU Boise State, and I probably won't show the picture, but my cousin decided to wear a Utah shirt into that were saying, and it was so stupid. People were like, "Oh, did you forget what game you were at? Utah's not playing." And I'm like, who cares if the guy is deciding to wear a Utah shirt to a BYU game? I thought it was brilliant because it was funny. It would rile people up. But he was a Boise State fan, so we went to go to this game, and they didn't have Boise State stuff anywhere. So what is he gonna do? You know what I mean? So yeah, decided to piss a few BYU fans off by, wearing this Utah shirt. So we get to our seats, and so I was on the other side of the student section, like I was on the other bowl, and half of that section was BYU and Boise State fans, which there were some great Boise State fans, but there were some like Boise State fans. There were some in front of us. I didn't like them. I was trash talking the whole game, and we were down most of the game. I remember one of the coolest moments was the little short guy. I got to pull this up. Give me one sec. Oh, I bumped the mic. Sorry. Okay, 2015. Here we go. 2015. Give me that game summary. I love the score still. Okay, it was Mitchell Juergens. I see this little short 87 just going right up the field. I didn't know what Mangum was doing. He had a Boise State guy in his arms, and he just chucks it down the field, and he's wide open. Mitch Juergens had an amazing game. I think it was like 2 touchdowns he caught. He had 4 receptions, 172. Wow. That was an insane game. Holy cow. 4 receptions, 172 yards, and 2 touchdowns. That was crazy. We get a couple turnovers. We finally got Hine to score a touchdown. It was 17-14 in the third quarter. They got a touchdown. We somehow came back with Tanner Mangum scoring a touchdown. Oh, by the way, one of the best catches I've ever seen in that game that didn't count, which there was no pass interference. It was so stupid. BYU shut out Boise State in that game, I remember. And I could see it from right here, but I remember that anyway. They didn't score the third quarter. BYU got that 1-yard run. And then the final play, so it was a 4th and 7. They're on Boise State side of the field. And I'm going to preface this right now. If you're watching this on YouTube, I have worn glasses probably since 2016. So, because I hated contacts, I could not see very well in this game. Okay. I see Mangum take the snap, and he rolls left a little bit. He kind of shuffles his feet, kind of waiting to see somebody get open. And all of a sudden, I see him move to his right, and I see a defender coming, and he just throws it. And I'm like, what? I'm sitting there on the other side. I'm like, what are you doing? I thought he was throwing the ball away. It's like, we need to score on this play, dude. Because I'm looking at this. There's 45 seconds left. It was that close. But he throws it, and I see Juergens go up for it. And I had to look around, and everybody was cheering. I was like, he actually caught that? So I'm by the scoreboard, right? And I look up at the scoreboard, and I'm like, there's no way. And he caught it, and I was like, holy cow. I was at one of the coolest games ever. And then Kai Nakua, that pick six. Oh, I've never heard the stadium that loud before in my life. Like, that was the only time I heard the stadium loud. So, it was crazy. And then there's another picture of my cousin. My cousin wasn't very happy. We were all happy. We're all BYU fans. And he was happy. Or we were happy and he wasn't. The best part of that is when that pick six, though, went through, the Boise State fans just left. They all just left. So it was just, it was the coolest thing ever. Like, the Wisconsin game was cool and it was special for me. And I think for anybody for its own reasons. Like, it was the first football game I watched with my wife. Like, the first sporting. My wife and I were dating at the time. We watched it for the first time. Watched a sporting event for the first time together. Even though my wife's not a big sports fan. It was so much cooler than the Nebraska game for me. It was just like, I was stunned. I had to get up for church the next day, which I lived in Orem at the time, and I had to go to Lehigh. I didn't sleep, go to bed till like 4 a.m. I was so amped up about that. It was pretty sweet. So yeah, that's the best BYU moment for me ever. And I don't think if I would have went to that game, I think it would be different if I wouldn't have been at the game. Obviously, Tanner Mangum coming in and, throwing Hail Mary off of a mission where he didn't play football for a long time was pretty impressive. BYU winning all those BYU Utah games when it meant something and they won the games, actually, it was pretty sweet. I got a free car wash from my stepdad when BYU beat Oklahoma. So, I mean, yeah, there's plenty of moments. I was just at that game. It was pretty sweet, and I really enjoyed that moment. But anyway, thank you all for tuning in to the podcast for the week. Hopefully next week, we'll have some more fun stuff to talk about. I'll get into the next question next week, which I've been thinking about for a couple weeks. I wanted to save it for next week because I was going to originally do the podcast last week. Didn't actually happen. But now we're off and running on it. So I do appreciate you all for tuning in and listening. And I'll see you next week after BYU takes on Western Kentucky. See y'all then.